Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an incredible story to share with you. It's a tale that spans generations, filled with divine intervention, promises, and a catastrophic event that changed the course of humanity. Get ready to embark on a journey through the captivating story of Noah and the Great Flood. In this video, we'll delve into the biblical narrative, explore its meaning, and discuss its relevance in today's world. So, grab a seat, open your minds, and let's dive deep into this extraordinary account that has captivated hearts and minds for centuries. Before we jump into the main content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. We have a lot of exciting content coming your way. Now, let's set sail on this incredible journey and unlock the timeless wisdom hidden within the story of Noah and the flood. The book of Genesis recounts that when the human race had spread across the world, the biblical God decided to limit human lifespan to a maximum of 120 years. Prior to this, there were stories of Adam's descendants, who sometimes lived for over 900 years. However, God observed the wickedness of mankind and regretted creating them. In Genesis 6 verse 7, God expressed his intention to wipe out both humans and animals, except for a man named Noah. Noah was described as a righteous individual who worshipped God appropriately, unlike the rest of humanity, whom God considered evil. God shared his plan with Noah, explaining that he would end the human race due to the widespread violence and wrongdoing. God instructed Noah to build a large boat using specific measurements and to gather pairs of clean and unclean animals. Noah complied without questioning or requesting further information. In Genesis chapter 7, God instructed Noah to enter the boat with his family, as he was the only righteous person in the world. God also instructed Noah to bring 7 pairs of ritually clean animals and 1 pair of each kind of unclean animal. It is unclear how Noah knew which animals were clean or unclean, but it is assumed that God provided him with specific instructions. After Noah and his family entered the boat, God promised to send rain for 40 days and 40 nights, resulting in the destruction of all living beings. Noah, faithfully following God's commands, did not oppose the plan and simply obeyed. The floodwaters continued for 40 days until the boat floated above the mountains. All life on earth perished, except for Noah, his family, and the animals aboard the boat. After the flood, it took 150 days for the water to recede. Noah tested the waters by releasing birds to find land, and when they did not return, he knew it was safe. Finally, after a year on the boat, Noah was 601 years old, indicating the duration of his time with the animals. God instructs Noah to disembark from the ark and bring all the animals with him, signaling the beginning of a new world where they can repopulate. Once outside, Noah constructs an altar to offer sacrifices to God. He selects one of each kind of clean animal and offers them as burnt offerings, which pleases God. In Genesis 8 verse 21, God promises never to bring such devastation upon the earth again, acknowledging that humans have a tendency towards evil from a young age. God declares that he will not destroy all living beings as he did in the flood. In Genesis chapter 9, God blesses Noah and his sons, instructing them to have many children and populate the earth. God establishes humans as superior to animals, stating that animals will fear humans and be under their control. God permits humans to eat animals and plants, except for meat with blood in it. He forbids consuming such meat, explaining that life resides in the blood. God further declares that if an animal kills a human, it will be put to death, just as humans who commit murder will face the same fate. Later in the chapter, God informs Noah that he will set his bow in the clouds as a sign and a promise never to destroy the world again. God affirms this covenant with all living beings on earth whenever a rainbow appears in the sky. The rainbow becomes a symbol of God's promise to spare all living things. The story of Noah and the flood serves multiple purposes. It demonstrates God's ability to enact vengeance and destroy his creation if necessary. It reveals God's power in bringing forth rain and flooding the earth, showcasing the consequences of not remaining loyal to God or living righteously. Noah can serve as a role model for believers, as he is spared by God. The story also portrays God as a deity who does not hesitate to destroy what he has created, emphasizing the importance of not taking life for granted and living in accordance with God's commands. The tale serves as a cautionary message, prompting believers to consider the consequences of defying God. It highlights God's capacity to destroy an individual who defies him, as seen in the extent of the flood. Despite the destruction, the story also demonstrates God's mercy by sparing Noah and allowing him to take his family with him. This mercy motivates believers to follow God, knowing that he can spare not only them but also their loved ones. God's mercy extends to the animal kingdom as well, as he desires their continued existence by instructing Noah to bring pairs of animals into the new world. However, the story also portrays the harshness of God's actions, as animals not brought onto the ark perish in the flood, illustrating God's ruthless pursuit of his plans. The similarities between the biblical account of Noah and the flood and the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh are notable. The Sumerian tale features a hero who, like Noah, constructs an ark based on divine instructions to save himself, his family, and animals from a flood brought upon the earth by the gods. The parallels include specific details such as measurements, loading animals onto the vessel, and sending out birds to find land. Fragments of the Gilgamesh story dating back to 2000 BC raise questions among skeptics, suggesting that the biblical narrative may have borrowed elements from the earlier Sumerian myth. Some individuals interpret God's promise never to destroy the world again as a potential deception, suggesting that his assurance may not be genuine. According to this perspective, God could be testing humanity's limits to see how far they will push their newfound immunity, observing whether they will betray or disappoint him once more. On the other hand, there are those who firmly believe that God truly intends to withhold calamity, upholding his word to Noah and implementing certain fail-safes to serve as reminders. The rainbow, for instance, symbolizes God's commitment not to destroy life again. However, this does not imply that God would prevent humankind from self-destructing or from causing destruction to the world itself, which seems to be an ongoing reality. Following this line of reasoning, if the biblical God desired to bring about another cataclysm, he would not require much effort or risk breaking his promise to Noah, as humanity appears to be willingly heading towards the destruction of the earth on its own. Some individuals speculate that God made the promise not out of remorse or a compulsion to restrain himself from such devastating actions, but rather because he foresaw that humanity would ultimately bring about its own demise. Thank you for watching. We hope you have gained insights into the Bible through this discussion. Please consider subscribing and clicking on the notification icon for future updates. Stay tuned for more episodes where we delve into critical issues found in the Bible.